Hello, everyone. The Natalie Wood mystery finally being solved, and the truth being far darker than many had hoped, has reignited one of Hollywood's longest and most chilling controversies. Because for more than 4 decades, people have debated, investigated, and speculated about what really happened on that November night in 1981, when the beloved star of West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause vanished from a yacht off the coast of Catalina Island, only to be discovered hours later drowned in the cold Pacific waters. Her death officially ruled an accident, but surrounded by contradictions, conflicting witness accounts, and unanswered questions that never sat right with fans, investigators, or even her own family. For years, the story presented to the public was simple. Natalie had been on the yacht Splendor with her husband Robert Wagner, actor Christopher Walken, and the yacht's captain Dennis Davern. They had all been drinking heavily, tensions had been rising between Natalie and Wagner, and sometime during the night she disappeared, with her body discovered the next morning, clad in a nightgown and jacket, floating not far from a dinghy that seemed to suggest she had tried to leave the yacht on her own. But the details never aligned. Bruises were found on Natalie's body that didn't match a simple drowning accident. The dinghy's engine appeared untouched. Neighbours on the island reported hearing a woman screaming for help, and the timeline provided by those on board kept shifting with every retelling. Over the decades, speculation grew that Wagner, known to have had a jealous streak and allegedly furious over Natalie's closeness with Walken, may have confronted her, leading to a violent argument that ended with her in the water. And while Wagner has always denied involvement, suspicion has followed him relentlessly. The case was reopened in 2011 after the captain, Davern, admitted publicly that he had lied to investigators back in 1981 to protect Wagner, and that the fight between Natalie and Wagner had been far more explosive than reported, with sounds of crashing, shouting, and possibly even physical confrontation, after which Natalie was never seen alive again. The coroner later amended her death certificate in 2012, changing the cause of death from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors, reigniting the belief that foul play had always been a possibility. Now, with new revelations, forensic reviews, and witness testimonies coming together, the mystery is finally being described as solved, and the conclusion is grim. Natalie Wood's death was not a simple accident, but the result of negligence at best and violence at worst, with the most likely scenario being that an argument turned physical. Natalie was either pushed or fell into the water while intoxicated, and those on board delayed or failed to rescue her when they still had the chance. According to investigators, her bruising patterns align more with an altercation than a fall, and the time gap between when she was last heard screaming and when authorities were called suggests that those on board knew she was in danger but did not act quickly enough to save her. This confirmation, though it does not bring criminal charges after so many years, has devastated her fans and family because it cements what so many had feared. Natalie did not simply wander off the yacht and drown by mistake. She died in circumstances that were preventable, in an environment where she should have been safe, surrounded by people who either failed her or allowed their own fear, pride, or anger to stop them from saving her life. For 30 to 40 minutes, we can retrace Natalie's life and career, her troubled marriage to Wagner, the night of the tragedy, the decades of speculation, the reopening of the case, and now the heartbreaking clarity that the truth offers. That Hollywood lost one of its brightest stars, not to chance but to human failure. This revelation does not deliver the justice many hoped for, but it does finally bring the answers that Natalie's sister Lana Wood, her fans, and truth seekers have demanded for decades. And it forces us to reckon with a sobering reality, that the glamorous world of Hollywood has always had shadows lurking just behind the spotlight, and in Natalie's case, those shadows followed her to the end. Thanks for watching.